Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I thank the honourable member for his question. Another very good question this week from the honourable member. Mr. Speaker, sir, we, as a government, and I think as a country, we all recognize that skilled labour shortages, particularly in critical sectors such as healthcare, engineering, can pose a serious challenge to our economic, public service delivery and national competitiveness. The issue of skilled labour shortages is not something new to Fiji. In fact, for more than a decade, we have seen a steady flow of our skilled workers drawn abroad by better salaries, educational opportunities, healthcare access and lucrative lifestyle. The so-called lucrative lifestyle may not be that lucrative anymore, Mr. Speaker said. The outflow of labour has significantly increased. From January 2018 till August 2025, around 114,000 Fijian residents have travelled out of the country for better employment opportunities, supposedly, and immigration, education, and other opportunities, representing about 12% of Fiji's population. And if this trend continues, Mr. Speaker, we will face further shortages. But migration, while migration may be one factor, we need to admit that Fiji is also facing demographic challenge with its population growth. And this is because of several factors. Significant decline, for example, Mr. Speaker, in fertility and birth rates over the past decades. According to the World Bank estimates, the TFR, the total fertility rate, Mr. Speaker, in 2023 stands at approximately 2.3 births per woman. This marks a dramatic drop from about 4 births per woman in the 1980s. So, we've almost halved, representing almost a 50% decrease in fertility rate over a span of 4 decades. The other, of course, Mr. Speaker, as we've seen in the last few decades, at least in the last 20 years, NCD has become a major concern, and that's having a lot of pressure on our health system, reducing our working age population, reducing productivity, and compounding these issues. We see, as the Honourable Minister for Health has pointed out, a rise in HIV cases. All this constrained Fiji's labour force participation. So these public health issues not only affect individual well-being, they reduce productivity. The World Bank report that we got the World Bank to review our health sector points out that on average people who reach 50 years, their productivity is halved. Mr. Speaker says, so this is a result of persistent underinvestment in workforce development, inadequate alignment between training and industry needs has added to the issue of skilled labour shortages. What we face today, Mr. Speaker, we have to admit this. It's not a product of single year or 2 years or 3 years that this government has been in power, but this is a result of decades of policy neglect and poor administration, and especially in the last 15, 20 years, Mr. Speaker. The previous government, I mean, he is talking about hogwash, but that is the reality. The previous government, Mr. Speaker, had closed down technical colleges throughout Fiji. That more than close to $40 million went down the drain. And this created huge vacuum in trade and applied skills training. Of course, Mr. Speaker, people will leave for better employment opportunities abroad, but we failed to train our young Fijians to replace the technical expertise that left our shores as the training institutions were shut down. This government is committed to restoring balance in our human capital ecosystem and ensure to build a sustainable labour market that serves current and future needs of the labour market. So we recognize the urgency of labour market challenges. So our first step as government was to provide relief to graduates. We wrote off the 650 million in TELS debt, major barrier to youth participation in the workforce, and at the same time, we've strengthened bond requirements to ensure graduates contribute to national development. Mr. Speaker, nearly 70% of our people are below the age of 40 years, and about 32% of our people fall within the critical working age bracket of 15 to 35 years. And therefore, we are putting a lot of priority in investing in these people and making sure that they are equipped with the right skills, knowledge, and opportunities which leverage Fiji's development vision. So we've expanded scholarships, support for medical, nursing, engineering, and technical fields, and we'll continue to incentivize the critical areas of labour and skill shortage. We've reopened, Mr. Speaker, 29 vocational school and expanded apprenticeship programs. These reforms are designed to address long-standing skill shortage in critical sectors. Government, with a new scholarship scheme, merit-based scholarship scheme, we are funding studies for 24,653 students, which includes 11,593 continuing students and 13,000 new students. Mr. Speaker, we've increased the number of TVET scholarships from 2,780 to 4,500. We've expanded micro-qualification grant scheme to new areas, increasing the total number of awards to 3,000. Overseas scholarships, we are also looking at providing scholarships, and we have provided already to undertake TVET qualifications in Australia and New Zealand that are not available. Areas such as water and sewerage, manufacturing, nautical science, hydrology, and aviation management. These are, Mr. Speaker, considered efforts by government, coalition government, to increase the supply of skills. This year, we've supported 300 students to be trained in qualifications ranging from certificate 3, 4, or diploma programs through industry employer providers. These graduates will be directly absorbed into the workforce upon completion. We've also introduced, Mr. Speaker, graduate business startup grant scheme, allocating $10,000 per graduate for 30 TSLS-sponsored graduates, final semester graduating students to undergo training and start a business. We're also undertaking